Hello, hello, hello. Today I am here with Brittany Ann, and we are talking about leveraging your connections and opportunities to 10x your profits. I am so excited about this topic. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Sabrina Victoria, and I am the host of this show, Her Talk Show. If you haven't already subscribed, what are you waiting for? These podcasts are guaranteed to have you thinking differently about all aspects of your life. Let's get going.
Get ready, because today's guest is about to change the way you view your world. This is Her Talk Show, hosted by Sabrina Victoria.
Live, welcome. And if you're listening on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay so we can drop in the comments and say hello. We have had over 500 women grace this stage, and we are adding another one to the list today. This is Brittany Ann, the inspiring CEO of Ultimate Woman International. As a seasoned business coach, trainer, speaker, and best-selling author, Brittany has empowered countless women worldwide to skyrocket their visibility, sales, and revenue. With her proven no-fluff philosophy, she guides you to take your venture to the next level. Yes! Get ready to achieve extraordinary success beyond your wildest dreams under her expert coaching and guidance. Welcome, Brittany.
Oh my goodness, Sabrina. Thank you. I am so excited to be here. Thank you for having me. This is just such an honor to be here.
Yes, thank you so much for taking some time. I know that we're all busy. We're building our business. We got clients. We got all the things happening all at once. And I always appreciate the women who take some time to give back by jumping on my podcast, giving value to the women within Her Nation in order to help us all take a step forward in different areas of your life. So today we're talking about entrepreneurship.
Woo-hoo.
Which is like my favorite subject.
Mine too.
And we're going to be talking about profits. We're going to be talking about money, which I feel like is like the most important thing. And for some reason, we don't talk about it enough. So how did you end up in this realm?
Oh, that is an amazing story. Let me tell you. So I am originally from Portland, Oregon. I came down here to Arizona about 25 years ago. Just kind of wanted a better life. I was a massage therapist. I was an image consultant. I was all these wonderful things. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't the right place for me. And I wanted a better place for my daughter. So, you know what? The universe said, you're going to Arizona. Even though it's hot, you're going to love it. So I got down here and I did a variety of different things. I've been a true entrepreneur my entire life and just love it, right? I have been in insurance, real estate, mortgage, you name it, I've done it. Sold cars, sold jewelry before, done advertising. But at the end of the day, what I was truly blessed with was being able to start my own networking group down here of amazing women, entrepreneurial women, whether they were new or seasoned in their business, right? They just came together every 2 weeks. And I always felt like we talked about value, giving them some type of value. So I created all these different business building activities, whether it was, how to get your message out there, how to connect with people, how to get referrals, how to profit, how to organize, all these different things, right, that really make a difference in our key elements to us building our business. And at the end of the day, COVID hit not long after that. Let me back up a little bit. I had started a publication as well. So not only did I have the networking group, but I was featuring all these different women business owners all across this, nation, and more importantly, here in Arizona. So we'd put them on the cover. They would be featured inside. Then COVID hit. And everybody was saying, you'd be really great at being the business coach because you're already kind of doing that, right? And I'm like, oh, no, too many people are already doing business coaching. I don't want to be lumped in with those. But what I really didn't realize is that I had my own gifts and talents, right? Ladies, everyone who's listening, remember that when you have your own gifts and talents, they truly can just shine through. And that's pretty much what happened. I took all my knowledge, I put it into, online. And then I started interviewing people online as well. And I mean, I've grown to having my own own business that I love so much that nobody can tell me what to do or how to do it. And I'm not dictated by, whether it's corporate, and I'm not dictated by the glass ceiling or by anybody else's thoughts.
Yes. All the perks of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
100.
100%.
Well, you have obviously so much experience in the world of owning your time. I think one of the biggest differences with working a regular 9 to 5 and entrepreneurship is your time, getting to do what you want with it. And sometimes that's the thing that creates failure within our entrepreneurship is, if you don't create your own structure and you don't create your own techniques, your own strategies, be able to get to the next step. There's no boss telling you what to do, hovering over your shoulder. You have to be your own boss. So somehow along the way, you have created the 7 keys to being profitable, which I think is unbelievably smart, because that is what keeps us in business, right? If we're not making profits, if we're not making money, then we can't stay an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I would love to hear what these are.
Oh, great. I'm so excited. They're my favorite. Yes. Here's the thing is sometimes when people hear profits, they automatically think financial, and that's just not always true, right? Your profits can come from your inner being. Your profits can come from your knowledge. Your profits can come from experience. Your profits can come from your belief in yourself, right? It's kind of like when we define success. How do you define success? Everybody has a different answer for that. Maybe it's a certain amount of money. Maybe it's a certain amount of status. Either way, at the end of the day, there are 7 different key principles that really make a huge difference. So let's get started. And I didn't put these in any order. You can, when we go through them, you'll kind of see there's probably a little bit more. First of all, I believe that you definitely have to have a purpose and a passion, right? Because they talk about your why, right? Why are you in business? Are you in business to make money? Are you in business to make an impact? In my case, I'm in business for all of those, but more importantly for myself is to leave a legacy. I want to be able to leave a legacy to my grandchildren. I have grandchildren. So I think that that's most important, is understanding that once you build something and you can pass it on, it lasts for a lifetime. So having that purpose and passion really makes a huge difference. Strategic planning and a backup. Right? I heard you say about how we have to be able to make money. First of all, you got to have a plan, how you're going to make that plan, right? And definitely we call those a SMART plan. And everybody should know what the SMART plan is, strategic and all those great things that come into it. But the most part is the strategic part of it. And having some type of backup, right? Because at the end of the day, if you are barely scraping by or not making enough money, has it become an expensive hobby, or are you on your way to actually making that money that you really desire and you deserve, right? And so how do you have a backup for that? And more importantly, how are you going to sustain over time? Example, like as building and growing your business, right? There's all kinds of different subscriptions that you have to do, right? And sometimes those subscriptions can be in the, $300-400 monthly, and getting help, right? In this, when you are an entrepreneur, suggestively make sure you are not doing it by yourself, even if you have a virtual assistant. But as long as you have somebody to help you, it's going to help you not be overwhelmed, right? And don't overthink things. Goals. What do your goals look like, right? You got to have goals and write them down. Most people say that, yeah, I've got these goals, I've got everything under control. But at the end of the day, do you really have those goals set in stone so that you can see those? Because visualization, which comes to my next one, having a vision. Even a vision board. Some people I noticed, they would kind of laugh at the idea of having a vision board. I thought it was always fun. In fact, last year for my birthday, we had all the kids over, the grandkids over. We pulled out, we had a big table. We put all the magazines, markers, and then everybody got to make their own vision board. And if you could see, it was just absolutely amazing. Everybody had a little bit different style. So having that vision. Next is a strong brand. You have to be able to have that brand. Like, I love your colors here, right? You can totally see how we're on stage with the purple above. You've got the lighter part down below. You can tell just your style, and everybody will be able to recognize and know exactly who you are and what you do and what you stand for, having your message. So the other one, which brings me to attraction marketing. What does that look like? Attraction marketing. Okay. Because attraction marketing isn't, people get confused when they say, I hear this all the time from my clients, but I'm posting all over the place and nobody is engaging. What are you posting?
Yeah.
How are you posting it? Where are you posting? More importantly. And the last one is consistency and connections, right? Look here, we're collaborating on this level and I love it. More women need to understand that collaboration creates currency. Some people will say, I need more money. I need more clients. That's all great. But what you really need is those deep connections that when somebody thinks of you, they think of you because of you are an expert in your field. And those are the 7 key principles.
That's awesome. I love to, obviously there's a bunch that I'd love to dive into here. But to start out with, I would love to dive a little deeper into backup, as far as having some sort of thing to fall back on while you are growing your business. I would love to know what you have done over your journey of creating a backup for yourself. Nice. And what you provide or what you ask regarding your clients and what you expect from them.
Well, some type of backup could even be having enough financial backing so that you know that at the end of the day, you're going to be able to pay not only the bills, but build your business. And whether that sometimes in people's businesses, like couples, we're writing a couple in entrepreneurship book. And part of those things that people said that their backup that they needed was the support system was number 1. The second part of that was do you have a second job? Do you have enough money put away? How long? And with that plan, that's going to help you with the backup because you're going to want to know in that plan, how long is it going to take you to accumulate what you're looking for to cover, like if you had a job. In my instance, as being an entrepreneur, right? There is no backup. Like, not to be funny, but I was always bucking against the system. At the end of the day, here's what I kept saying. I just don't want a job. My mom was good on that. Go get a job. Why? I've got 5 jobs, right? So with that, part of your plan, your backup plan needs to be is your grit. How much grit do you have to keep going? What is going to make you keep saying, oh, no matter what, at the end of the day, I'm going to build my business. And here I'd like to say that with one thing too, is that it's okay to pitch a tent. Okay. It's okay to pitch a tent sometimes, but don't pitch the tent permanently.
Yeah.
One of my great mentors said that we all get overwhelmed. We all need a break at certain times. There's days that I don't even get on my computer because the brightness of it and I've done too much and all that stuff. But when you have a plan, you have to be able to take those time off, right? Take that and know that like you're not feeling guilty because you're sitting there and drop down in the comments. How many of you have felt guilty because, oh my gosh, I just need a day off, but I got to post. I got to connect with people. I got to get out there and be seen, right? Be visible. Yeah. But if you're overwhelmed with everything, you just shut down. Just don't shut down permanently and pitch a tent.
Yes, absolutely. I love the vulnerability in that because I think so often when people commit to entrepreneurship, there is this feeling of failure if they have to get a side job or, start doing some side work in order to sustain it.
Right. And that's so true. And that's okay. Excuse me. There's nothing wrong with that. It just means that you are committed and you're determined. Excuse me.
Yeah, definitely. I know even, with my own journey, I always tell my community all over and over again, I've done everything in order to get to where I am. I've done everything from cleaning houses to babysitting, to dog sitting, to dog walking, like my fiance and I did Uber Eats for a while, like all sorts of things in order to get to where we are today. And that's part of the journey. That's part of, the roller coaster of entrepreneurship is being able to fill the holes financially where you need to so that you can keep going. So yes, 100%. What is your thought process as far as the time, right? So many times, when we get into entrepreneurship, we usually have a timeline, like what we're expecting. And if you listen to any of the gurus on social media, you should have your first 10K month within, your first 3 months of entrepreneurship. How do you explain the timeline to entrepreneurs yourself? What is a realistic timeline that you are telling your community?
Well, depending on your perseverance and your tenacity of being a business owner and having that stabilization, I'm going to say at least 8 months to a year. And that may sound like a lot, but here's the thing that happens. In between, there are those rare times that we like to say getting people to their first 5K within the first 90 days. Because having shorter goals to get to the bigger goals is going to help you with accomplishing faster and seeing those accomplishments. And I just think that, I've seen over time with so many people that I've worked with that they put that on them, that there is such this time period. I have to be successful, whether it's 30 days, 60 days, 90, however long it is, right, for them. And each person is a little bit different. It also talks, one of the things that's going to go a little bit faster is, what do you have in place and how much help do you have? And I'll give you an example, right? People talk about, oh, you don't need funnels and you don't need this. At the end of the day, you need to be able to capture those people, right? And you have to have some type of funnel and automation and all that. And it takes time. So I have a program that's like a 4-month program, and people understand that, what do you do first? You have to have all the basics in, but you do have to understand that it's going to take some time to be able to not only to get to where you want to be, but more importantly, to sustain it consistently.
Yeah. Sustain it.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Cause you can rush and put a deal out there for a certain amount of money and get clients, but to sustain. Yeah, definitely. That was one of the things, when you first jump into entrepreneurship, at least for me, not to project on anybody else, but I thought all you need is a website. And then soon, very, very soon after that, I realized you also need social media. And then soon after that, you also need a strategic plan. You also need a calendar. You also need a way to book appointments. There's so much where money's going out.
Right.
Where money's going out. So, creating a backup plan, like you're saying, of a little cushion for yourself so that while you're building out, you can sustain on something. And then also creating that plan that you're saying as far as money coming in to at least cover, one of the things that I talk about is like, stop thinking about these 10K months.
Right.
What do you need to survive? That's what I started on at first. Like, what do I need to just pay my bills?
Right.
So I'm not like homeless. That was my first goal. It wasn't to make any profit. It was just just so I can just pay my bills and not die. What is that amount? That was my goal. It was very small. It was very small. And then building upon that as we, as I went on to start to create profit for myself. So that is great. This vision board, I would love for you to speak on vision. You seem like you were so passionate about that. Why is having a vision for your entrepreneurship journey so important?
Well, vision is everything, right? And if you can see it, you can believe in it and you can accomplish it. And for some people, it's a big thing to be able to check things off. Right. I have a weekly planner thing that I put together that I see that I can check off. But more importantly, at the beginning of the week, I put down what I need to get done. And that's part of the vision, seeing it and understanding. But some of the bigger things on that vision is, we want to be able to take our family on a huge vacation, right? Like a Disney cruise or something that is going to be memorable for a lifetime. And if you have that vision up there, it pushes you, even when you're having those tough times and you feel like quitting and you feel like giving up, right? And we've all been there, right? You know what? That's it. I'm done. I just can't take it anymore, right? Yeah. Shut down. Give yourself a break. Do something special for yourself, right? Understand that the only way to get to your vision that you have, and I mean, I've got several things on my vision board, whether it's my kids, whether it's the, people that I work with, I want to see them be happy and be achievable in their own goals. But at the end of the day, if you don't actually see it, like my goal board is over here, it talks about travel. I love to be able to travel. I want to go on speaking trips. Those are things that implement into your mind continuously if you continue to see them. They're strong points of bringing you to be grounded, to be able to build a solid foundation and say, okay, little steps at a time. One of my favorite books for that whole thing that really talks about, and we talked a little bit about time before, is Brian Tracy's Eat That Frog. It's a short book, but it's great, right? Those are things that are, I keep those books around. Where's one of my other books? Jim Rohn. I love Jim Rohn. I'm a favorite of his, right? What does that say? 7 strategies for wealth and happiness. Now, what does that do to your mindset when you see that just laying around every day, right? It's part of a vision. So it doesn't necessarily just have to be a vision board. It can also just be things that you keep around you. It's kind of like when we have in our homes, we always like different pretty things. Why do we like those pretty things? Because they make us feel good.
Yeah, definitely. And then the last one that I kind of want to touch on a little bit here is consistency and collaboration.
Yes.
One of the things that I am a huge speaker on is community, getting together, finding a network, collaborating.
Yes.
What has been your journey with that?
Well, like I was saying before, is that I had the publication. So I got an opportunity to collaborate with a lot of different people. Since I became a speaker, same thing, where we're all like, okay, let's put events together that's going to benefit not just us, but the community, right? I have a community as well, too. The value of what you can provide in those communities and then the collaboration. But here's the thing that goes along with the collaboration is being consistent. Because I heard at the beginning of the show, Sabrina, where you said, we're all really busy and thank you for your time. So what happens? People forget about that, right? If you don't follow up, I loved how you continued to follow up about the show. Made sure that I was ready. Asked me if I had any other questions. Right? When you're collaborating with people, you are giving your promise to show up and be your best. And how would it be if I just, that sounds great. And then I just didn't show up today. Right? And you leave people in the lurch like, oh my gosh, what backup do you have? In place? People are counting on you. The energy, the synergy that happens between two people with collaboration is huge. People pick up on those vibes. People pick up on your perception of how you want to be out in the world, right? And present yourself. But when you have to find the right people to do that, not everybody is in the same place. So spending some time with those people to really get to know them and building that deeper connection and that deeper relationship will really help with the collaboration part of it. And just being authentic and sticking to your word. Right? I think that's a huge one. I saw that on somebody's post or something. They mentioned something about, how is it when people don't hold their word? Those are people, whether it's somebody that you want to work with or even a client, right? Yeah. I've had clients sometimes that sign up and they start working together with me or start to work, at the very beginning, and then they just don't show up. I've had people that had actually, paid money to be in the publication on the cover, and then they just disappear. What is that? And I'm thinking to myself, how do these people run their business? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Absolutely. So I think it's just so important with the collaboration to just really find the right people that you vibe with. And I like to say, surround yourself with the 5 people who you want to be like, because those are the ones that are all going someplace. They say that same thing. You hang out with 5 dummies, you're going to be a dummy. Hang out with 5 millionaires, you're going to be a millionaire. Millionaire, again, doesn't have to mean money, but it does mean that mindset. It does mean your actions. Where are you going to get the results that you're looking for? Exactly. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. First of all, with the cover on the magazine, were these all local people? Like they would come in and get a photo shoot? Mostly, yeah. So we did. We had people that flew in from different states because they wanted to be on the cover of the magazine, and it was Ultimate Woman International. But what's nice about that too was that the fact that it was also online, so you could click a link and you could view it online. So it wasn't just the physical copy, it was actually also online too, that you could go and do the publication. But what's great about that, it had hyperlinks and all kinds of things. So it would get to people's websites or wherever they wanted people to show up. And I loved it. I had, oh my gosh, I did 34 publications, I want to say, at least 34 publications. And I would start with one person being on the cover. And then I thought, it'd be nice if we had a collaboration of a few people on the cover. So then we started doing 3 people or 5 people or 6 people on the cover. We traveled up to Sedona, Arizona, where it's absolutely beautiful, right? It's amazing here and I love it. And we went downtown and we would have, different themes, and we would have different colors for the themes as well too. So it was exciting. They would, come, we'd do photo shoots, and then they would be on the inside of the magazine too. But again, that collaboration of knowing for people to show up and to show out and shine and be their true selves.
Yes. Wow, that is so fun. And this, what you just said there, goes right along. So if going from one person on the cover to 2, 3, 4 people on the cover, that's the collaboration.
Right.
So when you're working together, you're leveraging off of each other.
Exactly.
To create more energy. Smart.
And yes, right now, kind of what's happening, the same thing, because we have been all moved to being online. It's the same thing with creating events, right? I just had a live stream in April that I had 7 women speakers, and they were all over the nation. In fact, I think like one was in Canada. We had another one that was in another country. We had a few that were here locally. So I love that my community has grown like yours. That is absolutely amazing. I love her nation. It's awesome. And we get the opportunity to have women that can come into our universe that is literally all over the world, right? And we're making such an impact, not just in our own community, but literally worldwide.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it sounds as if, doing that magazine and just being in the world of entrepreneurship for so long, you definitely had to create a brand identity around yourself during these journeys that you were on. I would love for you to talk a little bit about brand identity and the leverage with marketing.
Well, the brand identity is so important because there's so many pieces to it, right? You have your message, you have your look, what your colors are. Your colors are powerful because I'll give you an example. When I had originally started Ultimate Woman International, I was pink and hot pink and black. And when that happens, you're just drawn to it. So like when I go shopping, I would be looking for those colors. Well, then when I rebranded myself, and that's okay to do. I think that sometimes people get so caught up that it's just not one time. I mean, sometimes there's, where you are, her talk show, maybe that's her nation has been there for a really long time, but sometimes it needs a little updating. And that's okay to do that. Again, it's getting yourself out there to share. But the biggest part about the identity is your message. What are you sharing with others? Are you clear on that message? Do people really understand what it is that you do? People say to me, the part of that is your unique value proposition. Because if you know that you are the expert in your field, and people ask me, well, what's yours? Well, my expertise, is being a business coach and everything and a trainer. And I love all that, but that's not like my unique value proposition. Mine is showing you the how-tos. Right? When I'm training with people, we actually, okay, let's go through the how-tos. Sometimes you get into these different programs and different things where they're like, okay, here's all the information. You got that, right? All right, now come back next week. And if you have any questions, maybe we can get to you type thing. And that can be hard as you're building and growing each step. When brand identity comes to understanding who you are you doing all ChatGPT where it's all AI, or are you adding yourself into that to be your own authentic self, right? Again, back to the color thing. So when I changed from green in the back, from hot pink to black, I also changed to green and gold. Green's my favorite color. I love green, right? But I had to pick the right one and all that. And then I had to match with everything. And since I have really created and when we're talking about brand identity too, everything needs to match. Your pages, your landing pages, your PDFs, your training things, your clothes. When I go shopping, I go right to the green and gold section, right? And I add white. Yes, you can have a few off colors. People say, oh, you can only have 2 colors, but you really have about 4 colors, to be honest. Because sometimes, depending on what color you're using, you need to have, like yours, I see is white on the top. Well, maybe if that was a little lighter, it might be a different color or something. So the whole purpose about the brand identity is that people know exactly who you are, what you do, and how you show up and how you give value in helping others.
Mm.
And that all of it has to speak to it. You know, I could go into brand identity for a whole long time, but at the end of the day, really, it's about how does it make you feel and how are you going to make others feel, right? Sometimes things are too powerful, or I see different brand identities that, like, maybe blue and black, that kind of more is masculine, right? Then you have the purples and the oranges and the pinks and the greens and the turquoises that are a little more softer. But I always say, pick what you love the most, because then every time you show up, you're going to shine. Brand identity is also about, you know, not just being out in the world, but also we are mostly online right now. How does your background look? Does it match? You know, if I showed up with, you know, colors that every time you show up, you're going to either see, every time I show up, you're going to see me in a gold or a green, one of those two, or white, but something that stands out so that every time, I mean, how would it look if I showed up with hot pink? And then you go over there and you check me out over on LinkedIn. And it's like, man, she's got all this green and gold thing happening. Why is she liking pink? In fact, I even gave away a whole lot of my wardrobe that was in those colors because it didn't match. And I'm just really particular about that too. But I believe that, you know, if you really want to set the motion of you are the expert in your field, be consistent with everything that you do in your brand.
Beautiful. Absolutely. I love that. Very, very cool. Well, this has been amazing.
Thank you.
So appreciate you being here, hanging out, sharing these 7 keys to becoming a profitable woman entrepreneur. I would love to, we have a ton of people watching live, by the way. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us. But obviously we're getting a pretty good idea, Brittany, of what you do. I would love for you to tell us specifically what you do and who should be reaching out to you for help.
Oh, love it. Thank you so much for asking. So I am a big fan of helping women entrepreneurs that are new, or maybe they're a bit seasoned. And I mean seasoned, like, you know, within 3 years or something, 5 years at the most, that they struggle with how to increase their visibility. They struggle with how to be consistent with standing out in the marketplace. And they struggle with how to put those sales in place so that they can serve with value. I am a firm believer, like we said, no fluff. One of those things starts with putting your business foundation into place. And I say that with love. I see so many people that start their business and they run right to marketing. Somebody said, you know, you'd be great at this. They're like, oh, that's great. Okay, let me go tell everybody now that I'm new, this, that, or the other, whatever business it is. I also work with people who are not just new entrepreneurs, but we now have a new program that is called the Rise and Thrive Women's Business Academy. It's group coaching. I love it because it's the 6 pillars of success that start you out, right? Starting with that foundation, you know, starting with, most people don't understand that they need to have daily method of operations. They have a hard time prioritizing. They have a hard time organizing. Maybe they know that, you know what, I know that I need to organize like on Google, but I'm not sure how to do that. Zoom can be a little bit complicated. So I have trainings on that one, right? Branding can not be cheap, right? So what's the best, you know, it can be expensive at times. So how do you overcome that? Well, learning how to do Canva, right? Because at the end of the day, I just got an award on Canva for doing over 600 creations on Canva. Wow. I'm thinking, really? Like everything, what I love about that is that you can do everything from a business card to a flyer to, you know, putting videos together, there's just all kinds of wonderful things to do that way. But if you're hiring somebody, that can be expensive. So I like to keep things really simple. I'm one of those, you know, the thing is when you start working with somebody, whether it's me or somebody else, and hey, Blue, I see you. Congratulations. Thank you. Appreciate that. And when you're starting out, you don't have a ton of money, right? You have to really figure out what is going to be the most impactful and like you said, I need this amount of money to be able to survive. And then the stepping stones to get to your ultimate goals that you really want. And I just know that at the end of the day, with having that solid foundation and then getting yourself prepared to stand out in the marketplace, I like to call it like your pre-marketing. Who is your target market? Did you do research on it? Who is your avatar? People say avatar. Who is your perfect client, right? Who would you love to work with? I've got clients that I work with that I love. One lady, she's 70 years old. You would never know it, right? And I mean, she is on it. She is determined. She is like, she shows up and get things done. At the end of the day, that's what you really need to have with building your business is you need to have somebody that is a cheerleader on your side, but also can kick you in the pants when you need it too, right? And give you that accountability.
Yeah.
So that's what I love most about working with women entrepreneurs is because they are really the true backbone of the United States, of America, of the world, growing and helping people each and every day and making a difference.
Absolutely. And then as far as people finding you, where do you hang out the most on social media?
Mostly LinkedIn. Right now, I'm building my LinkedIn. You can look me up, Brittany Ann Mickens on LinkedIn. Totally love it. And you'll see my picture there. And pretty soon, I'm going to be putting a video in my profile. How cool is that? I think that's awesome. That. I got a couple tips I just have to get. Well, also I have a community on Facebook too, Ultimate Women Entrepreneurs. You can find me there too. You can connect, but connect with me on LinkedIn. I love to be able to chat with people there and get to know them and set up. I also offer a free profit accelerator call too, so you can do that. But what I love most is that I think that at the end of the day, if you are really serious about building the business, you need to build your solid foundation, and then you need to put yourself out there properly, right? Understanding who you are. There's a couple little tidbits I'd like to share, if you don't mind. We've got a couple minutes here. They're kind of some of my golden nuggets type thing that I say, right? One of the things people say a lot to me is that, you know what, I am getting people to my calendar, but they're not showing up. I got a tip for you. Create yourself a short little video that says, hey, I see you jumped on my calendar. Super excited for you. And there's a few other things, right? And let them know and send that message like the day before, but let them know that you're serious about showing up, and so they can too. Those are great, another little nugget thing. Become a great inviter, whether you are inviting somebody to something of your own event or somebody else's event, right? Like this one, you're going to see me, hey, inviting all these people to go see, message people, talk to people, connect with people. One of the other things that is great is just send a little video to people too. Like I have a group, and some of the group members, they might have been with me for a while. So I put another little video that says, hey, it's been a while since you joined our group. Just wanted to let you know, we're happy to have you here, this, that, the other. But giving that human touch is what people are really craving right now. And I think that's so important, is just understanding. There's another company I just started with where I'm doing a video quiz. How cool is that, right? I mean, it's awesome to be able to do a quiz and get to know people. But if you're there in video like this, it's a more human connection that people get to know you. And I think these days, a lot of people will be saying, all about authenticity, of course, but they also want that human touch too, of getting to know. One of the other things that's a really good one is that if you do have to do when you're doing messages and you're connecting with people, is leave a voice message. People love to hear your voice. I get that all the time. People are booking on my calendar, and I said, well, what made you want to book? They're like, I heard your voice. I knew that you were a real person. You weren't like a bot or something like that. And I'm like, thank you. That's awesome. So I just think that adding that little bit of human touch to it will really help you be a lot more authentic. People get to know you and your energy, right? Here we are getting to know each other a little bit. Most people will say, I've never heard of her before. And now, I'm sending messages and they're like, man, I'm seeing you all over the place. I'm like, yes, it's working. It's called attraction marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this has been great. I so appreciate all of this, including the nuggets. I took a ton of notes. So super. I'm always learning, girls. So I certainly hope that those of you watching live also had a notebook out or your notes section in your phone and really took down some of the awesome content here. If you didn't, you can always rewatch. We do stream live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So thank you for those of you that are joining us from all of those areas. To those of you that resonated with Brittany Ann and all the goodness that she shared today, be sure to connect with her. Her LinkedIn is right below my face area here. We love to connect people here on this platform in order to make sure that we all continue to rise. Any closing thoughts, Brittany, as we wrap up?
Yes. I'm going to say your success is determined upon you and the definition of who you are and how you share that with the world. One of my mentors always said, don't be stingy. You have the magic cookie. Get out there and share it. Nobody knows who you are until you present yourself and get out there. Personal growth and development is everything. Everyone, take time to grow yourself as a person, please. Take time to learn that knowledge and give the best experience that you possibly can to each and every one of your clients, because they deserve you at your best. And the only way to do that is to be the best of yourself, be your own best version of who you are and who you want to be, and step into your greatness, because it's there and it's waiting for you. You just need to activate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Brittany Ann. We so appreciate you. That brings us to the end of yet another incredible episode of Her Talk Show. Thank you, Brittany Ann, for sharing your wisdom and inspiring us all. To my dedicated listeners,
thank you so much. I appreciate it.
To my dedicated listeners, thank you for staying with us into the very end. Remember to follow, like, and share. Once again, my name is Sabrina Victoria. I am the host here at Her Talk Show, and I invite you to join our amazing community, Her Nation, where we continue to uplift each other with conversations just like this. Until